Hi everyone and welcome to Flosstube number 19. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and wanting to spend some time with me. It warms my heart. If you are a new viewer, hi, my name is Marika. I live in Stockholm, Sweden with my boyfriend and my 2 cats. And I'm really happy to have you here. If you enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button and that would be awesome. So yes, I was not here last week. I usually post every week, but last week my migraines got the better of me. I'm still not okay, but I'm better. I had a really great weekend, so I am just gonna jump in and record. I have one finish and I have a new start, or I have 2 new starts because the finish was a new start, and then I have some work in progress and a bunch of haul because I have been on a sew and handicraft fair this weekend. So yes, let's jump into it and start with the finished piece. So I have finished my Santa. This is my Nunavut Santa by Mill Hill. If you don't know, I am hosting the hashtag Mill Hill Santa 2023 Sal. That's the hashtag. It will be here, the correct hashtag. The idea is to stitch on any Santa or gnome from Mill Hill. Why gnomes? Well, Santa and gnomes actually have the same name. It's called tomte in Swedish, so I kind of grouped them under the same. Anyhow, I wanted to have more of these cute little Santas in my tree, so I decided to, I'm going to stitch 12 of these, one every month. If you are with the SAL, you only have to stitch on one throughout the year. We have very loosey-goosey SAL rules here. However, I personally have 12 I need to get done, and it was getting to the end of the month and I hadn't started mine yet, so I stitched it up. However, I did kit it up, or fix the kit, a couple of weeks ago, and when I did that I did a little mistake. So I accidentally placed the wrong colors at the wrong numbers. I don't know what happened, if I just picked up the wrong card, because I store all of my floss that I get in these kits on floss drops, and I think I just picked up the wrong one. But yeah, these shoes are supposed to be dark brown, not green. The little part with where the arms meet the hands meet the sleeves should be the dark green and not a grey. And then I have some stitches around the face that is supposed to be grey and not dark brown or dark brownish grey. So there's a little bit of a mismatch, but I didn't have enough thread to rip it all up. And also I actually ripped up the moustache because I made that wrong, and when I did that the paper actually tore. So I'm not going to rip up things on paper anymore, but I was able to fidget and get the beard and the moustache done anyhow, and I kind of like him. I've cut him down up here because I was going to fully finish him, but I just didn't have time to do that. But yes, that is my Nunavut Santa, and that is the second of the Santas that I have made. Then we have a couple of SALs. I am doing 3 SALs at the moment. One of them actually had the last piece come out this, last piece was started on Monday, and I also have one that had the last piece that was on Friday, but none of them are finished. But we're gonna start with one that I'm actually caught up with, and that is the Life Needs More Chocolate Bunnies by Heart in Hand. Hands-on design, not heart in hand, hands-on design. Which is this. It's gorgeous. I am stitching it on a 14 count Vintage Blue Aida by Swagart, and I'm stitching it in DMC. I have done one thing, and that is I have switched out the color that is supposed to be for the blue for a darker blue. The kit contains 341. I think last time I said 503. It's a 503, actually. It's very close to this color, but that wasn't the color. 341 is a light blue with a little tint of purple in it. However, on this specific fabric, which isn't the shirted fabric, it just doesn't show up. It's a very strange, like when you put it on it, it looks good, but when you actually stitch it, it just doesn't show up. So I went with a little bit darker, which is 161, just to get that shadow in, and that is the only place the 161 is, so I thought that would work great. So yeah, again, Life Needs More Chocolate Bunnies. I really like it. Next project is a monster of a project. This is the Love Potion Mystery Sal from Fat Quarter Stitches, and there are so many mistakes done on this that It's just insane. I started, when I showed you this last, I had done almost everything of part 2. However, I realized after stitching even a little bit more on part 2 that I had missed a whole vertical row. So I assumed that part 1 and part 2, so it says part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 when you get the kit. So I assumed that I would only need to stitch on part 2 to finish part 2. However, if you actually look at the part 1 chart, you will see that there's one vertical grey row and one horizontal grey row on the page for part 1, and those needs to be stitched for part 2 and part 3. So when I realized that my bottle would be one too thin and that everything, it would be a little bit skewed, so I just took everything off. I frogged the whole part 2 and I have restitched it, and then I stitched part 3, which is down here. This heart has one horizontal row more than it should have because I accidentally started it too high, and there I could fidget it by just adding a row, making that this heart, the little bit darker heart, would be at the right height, and I thought that would be great, so that was how I did that. And when I did that, I realized I needed to refill my threads, and then I realized I had inverted the threads on this project too. So there's the 3328 and the 3833, and I will only say that once because otherwise I will get confused. It's these two colors, and I had accidentally put the wrong color on the wrong drop. So now I know when I debobinate my threads, I need to be very, very careful. When I am sorting my Mill Hill kits, I need to be very, very careful because but I did not frog all of that. I'm just keeping it as it is. So where I'm using the 3328 should be the 3833 and vice versa. But I'm okay with leaving it like this. So this is the potion as I have finished it so far, and the next part came out this Friday, so I need to get down and finish it. Then I have my last cross stitch piece, and that is Loads of Love, and I have joined the Loads of Love SAL. Basically this is a full pattern that is chopped into pieces. Just as the Life Needs More Chocolate, the patterns already exist, so if you want to stitch it from start to finish, you can do that. I'm just following the SAL because I kind of enjoy following the SAL. So for the Loads of Love, the SAL is finished, but I haven't finished the piece. It's supposed to have a truck in the middle, a big nice truck in the middle, and some butterflies flying around, a little bit of hearts. And that is the last part. Otherwise, I have come to finish with this, so hopefully I can sit down and do that now that I've finished the Life Needs More Chocolate piece for that SAL, which starts on Monday. But yeah, I can just finish this off, and then I have at least one finish next week, hopefully. But yes, that was all of the cross stitching. I can show you this again. This is stitched on 16 count white Aida. The Loads of Love is stitched on 14 count white Aida. They are all in the sharded DMCs. This one actually had 2 weeks that I chose to change. You will find all of those details in the description down below. But yes, all my stitching, that was all my stitching for the past 2 weeks. Because of the migraine, my stitching has been reduced. Usually I can stitch with a migraine, but when I have aura symptoms, especially this past few months, I've been shaking a lot. I get tics from my auras, is one of the symptoms I get. I get a lot of different aura symptoms, but one is tics, which basically means that I have little like movements in my hands and sometimes in my neck. And then stitching can be a little bit hard. And gaming kind of disconnects something in the brain so that my tics kind of reduces. So I've been gaming a lot. Anyhow, we're at the part where I am going to introduce the winners of my giveaway from last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago I had a giveaway where I gave away the whole set of my Valentine's shards, and you were supposed to give me a comment with the word love, and there was a whole bunch of you that commented on the video, which was awesome. And the people that I have pulled, they will be here, and I will say it's Ann Larson and Lucy Pape who has won the Valentine shard. So I'll put them on screen, and there will be an email in my description box that you can contact so that I can send the shards out to you. But yes, that was that part. Let's get to the haul. I went to a fair, a sew and handicraft fair this Friday. However, the fairs in Sweden doesn't really have any cross stitching. The only cross stitching I could go that existed was like DMC threads, and the DMC threads were about $1.50 each, so it wasn't the best or the cheapest, so I didn't purchase anything. But me going there had 2 points. I was going to look at a new sewing machine, which made me end up I'm gonna try to work with this for a while, because sewing machines are expensive, especially when you're used to having certain parameters in your sewing machine and you really want to have them. But I bought a lot of fabric and a few other bits and pieces. However, I did have one other purchase coming in before that, and I thought I'd just show it because it's super small. The first thing was I bought a bunch of bowing needles. If you might know, I do sell my own needles. However, due to a lot of reasons, I have decided to not do that anymore. So I have about 20 packages of that in my store, and then they're out. I will not stock them again. I do want to stock some kind of needles, so I'm trying out a couple, and I really liked the bowing that I had at home, so I thought I wanted to try the 28 size for my 16 and 18 can projects, and I picked up some more 26 size needles, so it's gonna be nice to test them, and maybe I can carry them in my store in the future. When I did that, I also picked up these little silicone tips for my fingers. These are supposed to be grippers, so it's meaning, like my thumb is too big, but it's meaning that you have one on 2 fingers and then you hold your needle in between if it's hard to pull it. However, the reason for me to buy them is because when I've been sewing in hand and doing the sewing, I've been pricking my fingers, and I've been pricking my finger over here, so I've been having to jump between this finger and that finger to hold underneath the fabric, because I really have starting to get being very sore, and my skin is starting to get flaky on my fingers because of it. So I thought I would try something like this to protect it. It's soft enough not to disturb my stitching, but should be thick enough for me to not prick my needles. So far so good. I actually stitched the whole chocolate bunny text, the life needs more, with this on my finger, and it worked great. So I think this might actually be a tool that I will continue using. I really like them. But yes, let's jump into the stuff I bought for my from the fair. It's been a long weekend, so I'm a little bit tired, but let's get going. So the first thing that I bought, I'm gonna go through the little machines. I got this. This is supposed to be like a seam. You roll it on your seams, like when you want to separate them, you roll it on your seams and it should help separate them. I'm not sure I like this tool. I'm not sure how to use it, I think. I need to look a little bit more on how to use it, but it didn't do what I was hoping it would do. It was quite expensive, so I'm a little bit sad about it, but we'll see. Maybe I will rave about it in the next video when I had time to play more with it. The next 2 things, I bought some very fine quilting needles. I have a lot of needles, but most of them are fairly thick, which doesn't really work with quilting fabric. So I bought very thin needles, and then I bought this little magnet thing to hold my needles. Again, the magnets in this isn't super strong, so it kind of works, but it's a little bit like you can't stack a lot of needles in it. So I don't know. Another buy that I wasn't super impressed with. I think I'm gonna need to look into another one, but for just a few needles it works okay. But then we have something really nice, and which I'm really loving. I bought this little tin. It is a Gutermann, which is sewing thread for my quilting, and I got the tin, and then I got all of this beautiful 8 colors of polyester thread for any quilting, and you're gonna see with the fabrics I bought, this is just perfect. And I really like it. I like the little tin. I don't think I'm gonna keep them in the tin. I just think I'm gonna use the tin for other things in the future. But yeah, that was a cute one. Those were just like unnecessary buys that I just went for. It's not good going to a fair. I had so much fun. I had a friend of mine coming there. It was like a last minute thing. I realized that the fair was going on somewhere in the middle of the week, or just in the beginning of the week. So I just sent away a message to my friend. I'm like, hey, we've gone to this before, you wanna come? And we did, and we had 4 hours of just chatting away and having a lot of fun. She and me both watch Emily D. Baker and Flosstube. I don't know, I like NCIS, CSI, like criminal things. So, and Flosstube kind of, I can like it, can like it. So we chatted a lot about Flosstube and a lot about other things too. Anyhow, the last thing I have is so much fabric. We're going to go through it fairly quickly because otherwise we will be here the rest of the day. We're going to start with the fabrics that I bought for my cross stitching. I love coffee related cross stitch projects, and coffee related cross stitch projects usually have brown in them, and I don't have that much brown fabric, so I picked up a couple of them. We have this, which is like a watercolor fabric. Picked up this. It's more mustardy, but I really liked it. This is not usually my kind of pattern, but I really like that one. And then I picked up these two, and I like showing them side by side because it's the same pattern but different colors. So it's one that is very cool and one that is much warmer, which is just like wood textures. Really like these. Fabric is expensive. It's really, really expensive, but I bought a lot of it anyhow. I did pick up one half yard of this, which is a really beautiful fabric from Flower Fairies, and it is a branded fabric, and I never know if I can sell branded fabrics, so I only picked up one half yard. I did pick up 2 half yards of this really beautiful ladybug fabric. It was just screaming at me. I'm like, this is gonna be something I want to work with. And while I picked up that, I also picked up, I think from the same place, this rainbow ladybug fabric, which is gorgeous. And I think this is a full yard. It came in a little roll, and I haven't measured it, but I really like the fabric, so I just picked it up. Didn't really look at the prices, because then I would just say that I wouldn't buy it, and then nothing would happen. Anyhow, I also picked up this beautiful rainbow diagonal stripe. Gorgeous. I have another pile of these half yards. All of these are half yards that are packaged this way. I have this beautiful dark pink, which is meant to kind of pair with the diagonal stripe, but also with the ladybugs, to have like on the inside of a bag. Most of these fabrics are going to be bags, and hopefully you will enjoy them just as much as I do, because some of them will get into my store. I do have this green fabric, which actually this is specifically picked up for the rainbow ladybugs, because the green kind of matched very well. Then I have this, which is the most adorable. I'm going to see if I can show you on the back side. I got 2 half yards of this. It is like a little baby, a grey baby cotton with a little moon and stuff. And I did pick up some just plain yellow to have as the inside of those bags, because I'm going to do bags of those too. And then I have my little very light pastel-y unicorns, 2 half yards of that. They're like pink and purples and greens, and to coordinate with that I found this silvery and like purplish fabric that would work great with that. And that was all of my half yards. I do have a bunch of full yards and one what I did double. Really, honestly, they are all half meters. Half a yard and half a meter, or a yard and a meter, are, a yard is slightly smaller than a meter, but they're almost the same. So that's why I call them yards, because most people who quilt counts in inches, and we are in Sweden where we have centimeters. Anyhow, then I have a couple of other fabrics, the yards. So first is the Sorbet collection by Patrick Loose, L-O-S-E. Anyhow, they are all like this silvery splatter. It is a base light color, like sorbet color, with a darker splatter of kind of tone on tone, and then a silver splatter. They are gorgeous. They're very, very shiny. So I have it in green. I have it in yellow. I have it in purple. I have it in blue, or baby blue. And I also have it in pink. So those are the half yards that I bought, and then I bought, or full yards that I bought. This is 2 yards of this beautiful rainbow stripe. It's the same designer, Patrick Loose, L-O-S-E. This is the spring collection, which is gorgeous, which actually matches with this really cute, let's see if I can get it in the right direction, really, really cute chick fabric. Look at that. And the chic fabric I actually have cut out 2 bags out of, and then I cut out a bag out of this, which is this really cute sheepy fabric, which is not Patrick, it is Clothworks that made this fabric, which is gorgeous. But yeah, so I have started making the bags. I have cut all the fabrics, I have cut all the batting, and I also have cut all of the edging. And I have it like this. So this is the edging for all of the bags. I thought I would use the same stripe on all of it. So basically I just cut out about 6 meters, 2.5 inch wide, and then I attached them together. I just folded it over, ironed it, and it's ready to go when I have time to sew. But I'm gonna have to work this week, so we'll see when I have time to actually sew it together. But yes, that was all of my haul. That was all of my sewing this week, or this past 2 weeks. I'm hoping to get a lot more sewing done for the next couple of weeks. I have my plans. I want to stay on top of the bunny sow, the Life Needs More chocolate bunny sow. So that is going to be I think what I'm going to stitch on after this video, so that I keep on with that. I then want to finish the Loads of Love, and then I want to finish the potion, and I think that is going to be all of the stitching I will have time with next week, but we'll see. I also have some Easter designs in my head that I need to get into my computer and start stitching on, so maybe I can get that also started at least. And then I have a whole bunch of other Easter projects that I want to work on in the upcoming month. So this month I am now going to transition out of anything Valentine. I do still have to finish those 2 Valentine projects because I don't want them laying around. They would make me stressed. And then I want to go full on Easter and spring. So that is where we're going in the next couple of weeks, and I hope you stay with me if you are interested to see that. And also hopefully next week I will have some sewing to show you. So yeah. Until next week, I hope you have a awesome week. Hope it's filled with a lot of stitching and crafting and anything you love. And I will see you later. So bye!